Okay. All right. So, yeah. All right. Anyway, so you want a walkthrough on how to survive on disability in America. First, the whole process is a giant confusing mess. In order to navigate the process, it takes one of two things for those of us with invisible disabilities. One option is you should already be a genius. Hey, shut up. No. Um, if you're smart, then a judge will ask. Sorry, if you're smart, I wrote this as a script. I can't read my own script. Good job. If you're smart, then a judge will say you can work. They won't tell you what job, just that you can. Since they say you can be gainfully employed, you're not disabled. The second option is have your doctor and disability advocate navigate everything for you. The ability to know how to ask the right people for help means the government will again not consider you disabled because you made a smart move. Sometimes you don't need to do most of this though. As long as you have a visible disability, like dwarfism. Are dwarves disabled? No, they're no, that no. Are dwarves disabled? Yes, but why? Uh, Not because of anything about them, but because the height designs of furniture and appliances, sinks and toilets and dryers and things, are all designed for people on average to be around 5.5 feet tall. Dwarves aren't, so they're considered disabled. I guess giants can she counts the same way too. People 7 feet tall or taller is too tall for the ceiling in most residences. Like I had a friend named Jack, and one of his uncles or cousins or something was too tall to be able to stand up inside the house, and he like became kind of like a hunchback, and and like seriously, it messed up his spine. The same kind of thing happens for people with severe facial scarring. Society says you should have smooth skin, but they don't. So they're disabled. Not because they are, but because no one wants to look at them, so they're unhireable, so they're incapable of gainful employment, so they are disabled. It's like, this would be cool, but nobody is, so too bad. What about autistic people like me and most of my friends? I'm sharing this to my friends, but whatever. You guys get it. Um, Society's rules say to follow all sorts of unwritten rules that we should all have as inherent knowledge, but we don't understand things like that. So we're excluded uh, from like jobs, society, pretty much anywhere that there's uh, anyone, and we're excluded because we make everybody uncomfortable because we don't understand things that everyone else does. And like trying to be able to ask to be able to get explicit information makes people uncomfortable. They're like, "Oh, you should already know this." Uh, Something I heard about from the cops in the town I was living in years ago. Uh, no, I'm not going to say the name of the city. I was going to, but people got all confused on it, so never mind. Um, anyway, the cops have to go undergo special training for how not to judge right away. What if a cop sees someone walking somewhere and yells at them to stop and they don't? You know, like from like a burglary or something or a suspected one. Doesn't need to be real. Just they were called out to an area and they're already trigger happy, right? The cop might think that they're hiding something and a threat, and so they open fire on that person that was ignoring them. So the person should have just done what the cop said and just stand or stop or whatever they said, and then they wouldn't have been shot, right? I mean, that makes sense. But what if they were deaf and they're not facing the cop? So they didn't know anyone was talking to them to begin with. They got shot anyway. Uh, Most everyone is just trying to get by and follow the rules as they understand them or have been trained to treat them. Someone who doesn't understand the rules or physically can't follow them are the same way. Just we have different challenges. Uh, Ones with lower, you know, why did I write that way? Whatever. I wrote it for a reason. Uh, ones with a lower pay grade and higher burden of proof. My own advocate even said that disabled people have to fight twice as hard for half the benefit. Social Security says 60%. People diagnosed with schizophrenia, like me, have it even worse. The condition is known for being disconnected from reality. I was abused growing up, and neighbors called the cops to protect me. The police showed up. My mother showed them my diagnosis paperwork, and she said that I was screaming about nothing, making it all up because I'm crazy, and they believed her and they left. They didn't show up more than once. It's like everyone's just like, "Oh yeah, this is crazy guy being crazy." It's like, who cares? So they ignore it. Got abused a lot. I went to a friend's house around the age of 13 or so, and not latex, uh, to throw poppers on the floor up his driveway. You know those little white bags in boxes of sawdust that pop when you throw them hard enough? It's like I took them apart before, and like it's like little grains of sand with like a little bit of black powder on it or something. So like when you like scrape it together, it pops. Anyway, those things. I was with my friends Steven and Josh. We heard a man's voice yell at us. I didn't know that voice, but all any of us cared about was escaping. We all ran. I mean, we fucking booked it. Um, so we all ran to our own homes. That night, a cop came to my mom's condo and demanded I follow him. I didn't know why. He didn't say anything to my aunt or mother. We were in the middle of making dinner and getting ready to sit down. And when the cop was knocking on the gate, my aunt answered it and then came to get me and said, "Oh, a cop wants you." And so I went and saw what the cop wanted, and he demanded I follow him. When I got back, I can get back into the story that I wrote in a second. But when I got back, my aunt said, "What was that about?" And I just didn't say anything. Nobody asked. Anything else? Um, anyway, so the cop brought me to the road next to Josh's house, and I saw Stephen there with his mom and dad. Stephen was half Russian, half Samoan. Both of his parents, Steve and Diane, were as well. Yeah, I mean they were huge, both of them, and very red haired, um, and buff as holy shit. I mean, they yeah. Anyway, so Josh was with his mom Lila, who was hugging him like with her arms like draped over him, like protecting him and stuff. The cop showed me this little kid. The kid, oh fuck, I doubt the kid was more than two. In a little plastic toy car, like kind you power with your feet. That had a hood on it. Anyway, the kid was wearing mittens and a knit cap in Southern California. California only has one season, and that's summer. It was like 90 something degrees out at least. Very questionable. I thought so then too. I saw the marks on the kid the cop wanted me to see, and they were clearly not popper burns. Poppers can't burn anything. I did, like I said, I took some apart, and my friend Jack showed me how to be able to put them together into a giant popper, and that couldn't even light a fire. Um, yeah, it did a lot of damage to the grass, but there was no fire. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Um, anyway, we were also watching exactly where each popper hit the ground, and the only people near any of the poppers was us in Josh's driveway. Who the like? No. I recognize the marks though. Someone was putting out their cigarettes on the kid's skin. The kid's dad was standing there looking all smug, like with his like arms folded, like. Um, anyway, the cop said that I could admit that I did that to him, plead guilty right then and there, and take the blame. I'd be on probation for a few months. That's it. If I pled not guilty, then I'd go to juvenile hall, and all of my friends would go with me. I didn't write it down, but yeah, and he said that it wouldn't be we would be in like the same cell or anything. We would all be in juvenile hall, but I wouldn't be able to see my friends. So it's no, everyone's in juvenile hall alone. That's what it was going to be. That's what he said. The courts would sort us out eventually, is what the cop said. which you guys are seeing all the flags here because that's the cop acting as judge, jury, and executioner, and you can't fucking do that. Um, anyway, I looked at Stephen and Josh. I looked at their parents. I mean, my friends were terrified. Their parents were afraid of what was going to happen to their kids if I didn't sacrifice myself. So I pled guilty. If I tried to defend myself or tell the truth, well, the city police already knew that I was schizophrenic. They're never going to listen to anything I had to say anyway. Um, you all know full well that kid's dad was torturing him, and the cop and that dude were friends with each other, and they just needed a fall guy. Why not the psycho whose parents don't love him or have any interest in his safety? Why not use me? It's a good idea. Fucking assholes. Most disabilities get you in way worse trouble way more often, and not because you did anything, but because someone else was quick to judge, aggressive, armed, and can't get in trouble for committing murder. If you've seen that in news more than enough. Um, Man, I'm kind of envious of you dudes in countries that don't have armed police. Um, I mean, it isn't like disabilities are new; they've always existed. Civilization itself couldn't have been built without people choosing to help those who can't help themselves. It's why we're pack animals. It's why we made societies to begin with. The weak need help, but that means that the carers don't have the chance to contribute to the able-bodied, whatever they're doing. So then other people have to take over for them and to support them. So it's like a huge amount of help for the first person, a lot of help for the people around them, less help for the people around them. So it's like all spread out. So it's even, it's evened out. Everyone benefits everyone. Uh, we all work to, and that's the line I wrote in there. We all work together for the benefit of us all. It's not like I choose to be different. I am different because I'm different. It doesn't matter why. I used to go mountaineering, and now my legs don't work well enough to get up a single curve. Over a long enough age, everyone will get to my point. Just I got there faster. Oh, really? Look how many buildings and around South Dakota have one single stair or more in front of their front doors. I can't go on any of them. I'm not welcome. Let me circle back to some stuff though. Yeah. Um, no, that's not an advertisement. I just need to keep my blood sugar up. So disabled people are considered by most of society to be too stupid to help themselves or understand things. Social Security makes that opinion valid uh, by how their bureaucracy is set up, which I already explained. Why am I talking about Social Security Administration all over the place? Because with Social Security income, you can find a way to afford a place to live if you pair it with other benefits that are even harder to get, and you have to know about it. And it won't be advertised to you by anyone, even your therapist, doctor, or advocate. They might not even know about those benefits. Like seriously, I've had so many different therapists or doctors. I'm like, oh yeah, and I pay for my rent with this. They're like, what's that? I don't know. I'm like, oh my, holy shit! You're a caregiver. You're supposed to know this shit, and they don't. Um. Anyway, so you need to know about all this. You need to be the one to set it up. You need to be able to do all this on your own with no guide. Congratulations. Most apartments need you to prove that you make 3 times the rent. On Social Security, you get 60% of the federal poverty rate. Since I get 950 a month, which is not an accurate number, it's close enough to accurate though. That must mean poverty is around 1,600 a month. That's why I get barely more than half of that. So just get a job, right? Being unable to be gainfully employed is how I got Social Security to begin with. Isn't that nice? So there's no forward going. I mean, there kind of is, but it's like, yeah, you have to. Oh, fuck. I'm just going to read what I wrote because I was focusing on the different questions I was supposed to do for this. Um, One of the questions I'm supposed to answer is, when did I start noticing this inequality? I've never been equal and was born without rights. Disabled people only started getting rights in the late 1990s, and I was born in 1980, January 1980. It was already I was already an adult before I started seeing any rights at all for myself, and I recognized that everyone else already had the rights that I had just gotten. That's just how things are. I didn't argue or complain. Why would you get mad at the? As an example, like, why would you get mad that the gas that you inhale is oxygen instead of xenon, which is a rare element? It's like, it's a stupid thing to complain about. It has nothing to do with anything. Just deal with it and shut up. No, nobody cares about your dumb argument, which is exactly what me being disabled and trying to be thought of as a person is. It's not realistic. Nobody's going to listen. Equal rights means equal rights. That includes the right to fail, the right to lose, but it also means that either everyone has the same rights or there's no such thing as equality to begin with. Personally, I don't challenge the rule set. I just want to know what it is and to make sure everyone follows the rules as they are written. If you don't follow the rules and say you yourself have to follow them, uh, then I can't take you seriously. Like, oh, you can only have, one piece of candy out of the Halloween bag, and you just like grab a handful. It's like, you just, yeah, no, no, no. Your words do not carry meaning if that's what you do. If I get punished for something outside the rules, that's not fair either. I will admit that I'm wrong anytime I'm wrong. I will not admit that I'm wrong when I'm unrelated to the topic at hand and you're the one who's wrong. Maybe the people who are just making up these challenges are sociologists. Maybe they're angry people like me who just need a target to be pointed at them. I mean, bleh, read it correctly, stupid. Maybe they're angry people like me who just need a target to be pointed at. There could be overlap. And latex, no. You were supposed to interrupt earlier, and you kept doing it at the wrong time. Oh damn it! Whoops! You didn't see that. Wait, where's my button so I could pretend I'm doing this correctly?